Yes. And a short answer, yes. 1982 in Alaska, we ran 12 people for the legislature. That was the year that Dick Randolph was still a Libertarian and ran for governor as a Libertarian. And out of the 12 people, I did probably better of any. I got 28%, finished second out of 3. 84, we ran 5 people for the legislature, and we concentrated our resources on 3 of those 5 races, and one of them was elected. That was me. It does help. It does work when you concentrate resources, not only money, but also consultants. And don't be afraid to hire consultants. Consultants are extremely important if they know what they're doing. They can tell you what to do and how to do it. And if there is one way to get elected, that one word, or that one way to get elected is television. You can't beat television. I don't care how remote this district may be, television will get there, and television does influence people. That's why the big companies advertise cars on TV and beer and breakfast cereal and everything else. That's the way they sell. Yes, ma'am. The DEA is officially known as the Drug Enforcement Administration. Its real effect is as the Drug Encouragement Administration. And the way that works is because by having drugs outlawed, you create a tremendous profit motive in drugs, which would not exist. There would be a profit motive, but it would not be nearly as large if drugs were legalized. The situation we have now with regard to marijuana, cocaine, heroin, or any of these other so-called drugs is almost identical to what we had during Prohibition. During Prohibition, more people use alcohol than they did before or since. And it set up the mafia in business during Prohibition. We wouldn't have the mafia today if it hadn't been for Prohibition. It made Jack Kennedy's father rich because he was an illegal drug dealer during Prohibition, as you may know. Who knows, maybe in the future we'll have a president elected whose father was an illegal drug dealer of marijuana during this period of time. But in any case, it is serving to encourage the drug trade because of the tremendous amount of money that can be made in it. And that is one of the reasons we should legalize it, to take that profit motive out of it. The situation we have now is very hypocritical, where you have all these drugs which are outlawed, and yet if somebody uses a drug and ruins his mind, what happens? You put him in a hospital and pay for him out of taxpayer funds. That's completely crazy. In a libertarian society, the drugs would be legal. But if you ruin your mind by taking a bad drug, that's it. You know, don't come to us and ask for us to pay your hospital bills. Personal responsibility must rule. One more question. Somebody got a juicy one? All the juicy ones are gone? Oh, over here.
You made the comment that TV is so important, and I agree. And granted, that is true.
Uh-huh.
Is that going to make it next to impossible for someone running on a military ticket for a national election, president, vice president, putting out a bunch of checks, any at all, that the vote of the country? In other words, what I'm saying is network news media is not going to give libertarians national candidates any notice. They're going to paint you out of this. So how do you overcome that?
Well, money talks. I used to have a friend that said, money talks, and when it talks, I listen. Well, money talks, and television, they will sell you time if you come up with a scratch, believe me.
Even the network news media?
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know about the news now. The news is something else, but if we keep talking about the things now, you may know in the past that out of our 4 national tickets so far, the 2 things you can say is that our national ticket in 1980, Ed Clark got considerably more votes and a higher percentage of the votes than did Eugene McCarthy in 1976. But of course, the media gave McCarthy 90% of the ink, as they say. The first woman to get a vote in the Electoral College was, of course, not Geraldine Ferraro in '84, but was Toni Nathan, Libertarian, in 1972, 12 years before Geraldine Ferraro. We need to keep telling the press things like this. The electronic media, in my opinion, the radio and television, are much friendlier than the newspapers. When I was elected, I was told that the newspapers are liberal, leftist, socialist, and I thought that was an old wives' tale. Well, that's true. Most newspapers are liberal, leftist, socialist, and I have little use for them. Radio and television is a lot better than that. Okay, she wants one more? Is that all right?
We really need to.
Oh, okay.
Got it down.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you very much. Maybe Andre would be available on a one-to-one basis. Let me just remind you again that there's a schedule change this morning at the 10:30 to 11:05 slot previously being held by Mary Ruard is going to be occupied by Andre in his capacity as vice presidential candidate. And we're beginning the formal part of the Sunday program next door at 10 o'clock. See you there.